The 2025 Toyota Tundras are here, but do you notice anything different? As of right now, I haven't, but there is some stuff that they did change for this model year. I borrowed this truck from Karl Malone Toyota here in Draper, Utah. Be sure to ask for Matt. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see the pricing on this SR5 Tundra. On this side is the description. So you guys see it has a 5.5 foot bed, midnight black metallic paint. And here is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause it. And here are all the options. So this one does have the SR5 painted blind spot monitoring mirrors for 60 bucks, TRD off-road package for $21.25, SR5 convenience package, and then a few other things down below: heated leather wrap steering wheel, connected services, all-weather floor mats. And I've noticed that Karl Malone's been ordering their trucks with these phone cables, which is kind of cool. Emergency kit, stainless steel door edge guard, exhaust tips. Destination comes in at $19.45 with a total price of $58,680. And here are the Philly comment numbers. As far as the front end goes, there's not a big difference for 2025. And one thing I like about Tundra is they do give you a lot of nice standard features. For example, reflective style LED headlights, and they put a lot of light out on the road. Incandescent turn signals right there. Front parking sensors, adaptive cruise controls are part of this package. It also has active grille shutters too. LED fog lights, and they put out a lot of light too. Now, even though this is an off-road truck, they don't give you any really nice skid plates down below. It could be available as an add-on. And on the front grille, you do have this chrome surround here. A little bit more grille just below the headlights right there. And let's go ahead and check out the suspension. So Bilsteins are being used here with Toyota's blessing right there. And double wishbone suspension. And that steer knuckle is going to be finished in aluminum, whereas those upper and lower control arms are in steel. You can see that sway bar right there. And notice how that drive axle is red. They've probably always been red, but I guess I've just never noticed it. And then here are the tires. These are all terrains through Michelin. They're called the LTX Trails. I've seen these on the new Land Cruiser as well. And as far as the tire size goes, it's right here. 265, 70, 18, and that's basically like a 32.6 tall tire. It's like 10.4 inches wide, so not a big tire by any means. You guys can see too that fabric material in the liner. It should make it easy to knock out mud, things like that. And here's just the other side of that suspension. See that axle a little bit better too. And plastic for the fender flares. For a base model truck, I mean, the SR5 is just a step up from SR. It does come pretty well equipped. I like the way it looks without running boards too. They do have mud flaps on the front too. Painted mirror caps, turn signals, blind spot monitoring. And this truck does have the smart key system. Actually, the key is inside the truck. 5.5 foot bed, 32.2 gallon fuel tank, as you guys saw in the window sticker. That was upgraded for the convenience package. And coiled rear suspension. They do provide a liner out back. You can see that composite bed too. And I've noticed that that does help save weight, but man, these Tundras typically don't have a ton of payload. More Bilstein shocks in the rear. Mud flaps, chrome exhaust tip right there. Parking sensors, 7 and 4 pin for your trailer, class 4 hitch. And let's just step back for a second. Now for 2025, you can get a power liftgate for SR5 as an option. It is assisted. They do have the tie downs. They do stamp Tundra right there. That rear glass does come down too. Your high mount is cleared out, so there's no red there, but there's no power plugs out back. That may be available. You just have to option the truck with that. And then here is that spare tire. Looks to be a Michelin one though. Stainless steel exhaust. And then here's just a side view of the Tundra. There it is. Twin turbo V6, 3.4 liter displacement. A lot of people were upset about this engine's release because everyone was still on the V8 bandwagon. And don't get me wrong, that 5.7 was amazing, but 389 horsepower may not sound like much compared to 381 on the 5.7, but 479 pound-feet of torque. You can't beat that. That 5.7 V8 only had 401 pound-feet of torque. Now, one thing to consider, this engine does have 10.5 to 1 compression, so you don't have to run premium in this engine. Also, it is direct and port injection, so those intake valves get sprayed. Just use some top tier fuel obviously to keep that engine nice and clean too. But yes, having the twin turbo system does really put the power down a lot better compared to a naturally aspirated V8, especially in the high top end. Like if you're going 60 miles an hour on the highway, you need to pass on one. This engine is no joke. 10-speed transmission. I was hoping they would just add the 5.7 for at least 1 or 2 years and put that 10-speed behind it, drop down the 430 on that 5.7 to maybe a 373, and it would have got better fuel economy probably, and probably would have towed better. Now with that being said, this truck does have a 331 I believe out back, so higher gearing, but you have deep gears in the 10-speed, so you don't really need that extra oomph from that rear axle. As far as the interior goes, you can tell that this is a base model truck, but Toyota gives you really nice features. Auto up and down for front and rear windows. I don't know why manufacturers don't make that standard like Toyota does. Good job, Toyota. Soft touch here and here, but the rest of this door is gonna be hard plastic, and that's just something you have to live with when you get the SR5. A little bit of storage with a bottle holder right there. And seats are going to be 10-way, including lumbar support. Great bolstering, and look how wide the seat cushions are. So bigger people should feel comfortable in this truck. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Let's jump over to the passenger side. They do provide open storage right here, and there is a 12-volt plug on the dash there, and all this is going to be hard plastic too. No power seat on the passenger side, but glove box, decent size. And just put a Tundra badge stamped into the dash here. I would like to see storage on the side. I normally point that out on the American trucks. Something that would be nice for the Tundra to have too. Out back, they do cheapen it up a little bit out back here. So hard plastics on the top here. Seat back pockets just on the passenger seat. And just a little bit of storage right there. And okay, so they do give you some USBs. So you have a Type A and a Type C. Air vents, and just a spot here for, I don't know what you'd put there, maybe a wallet or something like that. Cup holders, and there is no armrest for the center right there. And there's still a small hump in the center of that floor. Back over to the driver's side, they do give you a grab handle here. And this plastic trim is thin. It does sit up just a little bit from the floor, but it's not too hard to get over. But notice how they give you the sport pedals down below. That should help with gripping. And you guys see here, you have your bed lights, auto high beams, auto stop start. You can dim or brighten the gauge cluster, odometer, and your parking sensors. One thing I love about Toyota is they give you a manual adjustment for your headlights. If you're towing a trailer, or if you have a heavy thing in the bed, you can lower the headlights so you don't blind oncoming traffic. Heated steering wheel, and this one was leather wrapped. It was an option. Getting it's pretty easy. And the shifter is missing here, so I guess it hasn't gone through PDI yet, but push button start, they do make it red. And I don't think I mentioned it, this seat was added for 8-way, not including the lumbar that is, for 2025. So now you have that standard. You can go to start the truck up. In this SR5, they do give you the analog gauge, and some people are gonna like that. Some people don't like the big screen. And you do have a smaller screen here. I believe this is an 8-inch display. No dual climate control. However, you still have drive modes. So they give you 3 drive modes. So you have Eco, Normal, and Sport. This truck does have adaptive cruise control, as I said, on the outside. Has the lane keep assist. And yeah, I mean, this truck is a really good contender. You guys see right here, locker out back. Now on this screen here, you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wirelessly. They provide a Type A USB on the dash there. There is a hold function for if you're at a stoplight, that way you don't have to keep your foot on the brake. As far as your backup camera goes, they do provide the backup lines, and they do work with the steering wheel. So there's a lot of nice features that you get on this truck. Their center console is definitely nice for sure. Open storage there, and down below here you have coin holders. You have two USBs, Type A, Type C to the right there. And one thing I do like, if you do have a big cup, especially if you like those big gulps, this is a cup holder basically right there for that. And apart from that, I mean, this truck is pretty basic. On the roof, they do give you a black headliner. Most manufacturers will just give you a lighter color roof if you have a black interior, and it never looks good. But the black roof is hotter in the summertime, and a Toyota signature thing that they have, I love that. No other truck does that. And this cab does feel pretty big too. You have a lot of nice features like LED lighting. Here's a spot up here for your shades. Let's go ahead and check out the Payload. Your gross axle rating out front is going to be 4,080 pounds. The rear is 3,860 pounds with a 7,210 pound gross vehicle weight rating. All-in payload for this truck is 1,380 pounds. Minus 50 here because of the accessories that were added to this truck. I hope you guys liked the video. This truck is definitely priced accordingly. I mean, in this market, if you're looking at a Ford F-150 STX, you're going to be just at 60 grand, especially if you add the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, which this truck comes standard with a 3.4 that competes with that engine. I think that Toyota's probably a little bit lower than the competition, and they do give you a lot of nice amenities compared to them as well.